Direct News TV. November 22, 2023. Gaza truce deal, what have Hamas, Israel and Qatar said? Hamas and Israel have expressed in statements their readiness to resume hostilities after they agreed to a Qatar-mediated pause in fighting. The deal includes the release of 150 Palestinian prisoners held in Israeli jails in exchange for 50 people held captive by Hamas in Gaza since the armed group that rules the enclave stormed southern Israel on October 7. Under the terms of the deal, Israel will halt all military actions in Gaza for 4 days, and allow hundreds of trucks carrying humanitarian and medical aid and fuel into the territory. Here are the statements issued by the warring sides, as well as the mediator. Qatar. The state of Qatar announces the success of its joint mediation efforts undertaken with the Arab Republic of Egypt and the United States of America between Israel and the Islamic Resistance Movement, Hamas, resulting in an agreement for a humanitarian pause. The starting time of the pause will be announced within the next 24 hours and last for 4 days, subject to extension. The agreement includes the release of 50 civilian women and children hostages currently held in the Gaza Strip in exchange for the release of a number of Palestinian women and children detained in Israeli prisons. The number of those released will be increased in later stages of implementing the agreement. The humanitarian pause will also allow the entry of a larger number of humanitarian convoys and relief aid, including fuel designated for humanitarian needs. The state of Qatar affirms its commitment to ongoing diplomatic efforts to de-escalate tensions, stop the bloodshed, and protect civilians. In this regard, the state of Qatar appreciates the efforts of the Arab Republic of Egypt and the United States of America in reaching this agreement. Hamas. Inspired by our responsibility towards our patient and determined Palestinian people, and our tireless endeavor to support the steadfastness of our heroic people in the dignified Gaza Strip, and to provide relief and treat their wounds, and in our work to consolidate the will of our victorious resistance on October 7 in the face of the Zionist enemy. Following complex and difficult negotiations for many days, we announce, with the help of God Almighty, that we have reached a humanitarian truce agreement, a temporary pause in fighting, for 4 days, through the persistent and appreciated efforts of Qatar and Egypt, according to which, there will be a pause in fighting from both sides, a cessation of all military actions by the occupation army in all areas of the Gaza Strip, and a cessation of the movement of its military vehicles penetrating into the Gaza Strip. Allowing hundreds of trucks of humanitarian, relief, medical and fuel aid into all areas of the Gaza Strip, without exception, in the north and the south. The release of 50 women and children below the age of 19 years of the occupation detainees, in exchange for the release of 150 women and children below the age of 19 years of our people from the occupation prisons, all according to length of their imprisonment. Stopping air traffic in the south for 4 days. Stopping air traffic in the north for 6 hours a day, from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. During the pause of fighting, the occupation is committed not to attack or arrest anyone in all areas of the Gaza Strip. Ensuring freedom of movement of people, from north to south, along Salah al-Din Road. The terms of this agreement were formulated in accordance with the vision of the resistance and its principles, which aim to serve our people and strengthen their steadfastness in the face of aggression, and it is always mindful of their sacrifices, suffering and concerns, and it conducted these negotiations from a position of steadfastness and strength in the field, despite the occupation's attempts to prolong and procrastinate the negotiations. While we announce the arrival of a pause of fighting agreement, we affirm that our hands will remain on the trigger, and our victorious brigades will remain on the lookout to defend our people and defeat the occupation and its aggression. We promise our people that we will remain loyal to their blood, their sacrifices, their patience, their steadfastness, and their aspirations for liberation and freedom, the restoration of rights, and the establishment of an independent Palestinian state with Jerusalem as its capital, God willing. Israel. The government of Israel is obligated to return home all of the hostages. Tonight, the government has approved the outline of the first stage of achieving this goal, according to which at least 50 hostages, women and children, will be released over 4 days, during which a pause in the fighting will be held. The release of every additional 10 hostages will result in 1 additional day in the pause. The government of Israel, the Israeli army, and the security services will continue the war in order to return home all of the hostages, complete the elimination of Hamas and ensure that there will be no new threat to the state of Israel from Gaza. My name is Kingsley. Please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be the first to be notified whenever we post. You won't regret it.